Welcome. This is a tutorial video on the use of Smart Notebook software to create multimedia presentations for use on the smartboard. This particular presentation is kind of an addendum to a previous presentation that went on using interactive multimedia items from the gallery. I'm going to give a little specific tutorial on using a specific uh, multimedia item in the um, in the mathematics classroom for mathematical purposes. So first thing I'm going to do is click on Lesson Activity Toolkit. In the Lesson Activity Toolkit, I'm going to go to the Interactive and Multimedia. And in my previous video, I told you that pairs is one of my favorite activities of all. Um, there's pairs in a lot of different colors here. I'll use green pairs for the sake of this presentation. You just want to find a color of the game pairs that would work with your design scheme. So I'm going to move it around a little bit, and now I'm going to grab this resize handle and make it smaller so I have space on my page that'll help me to edit this video, this game, excuse me. So if I click the edit button, that gives me the ability to drag pictures in to use in four items in this presentation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually manufacture those items. So I'm going to make mathematical items. So I'll do a simple addition example here. I'm going to do 5. And I'm going to click again and give myself a separate text box so that I can format this as I want it to. I can make the two add-ins as close to each other as I would like them to be, um, and move them around side to side or whatever, make it look as appropriate as I want it to. Once I have this addition statement set up, I'm going to go here and get a line. So I put a nice line underneath it, and that looks like you might find an item on a worksheet or something like that. Um, I want to align those. You notice I did align them vertically instead of horizontally. The reason for that is the shape of the blocks here. That's going to dictate. I'm going to give myself one more text box, and that's going to be for the solution, which in this case is 9. And I've got these 3 text boxes, and I'll use those repeatedly to do each of the items, or each of the matching items that I have here. Couple options. The best option, I think, is what I do, but I'll show you the other option first. You could clone this item and then just take the number itself and drag that into the picture, and you can see that makes the number 9. If you do notice, though, you'll see that the block is purple and the 9 is black, and the contrast between those two colors is not great, and I've had students who had a lot of difficulty seeing images like that. I could do the same thing here by grouping. So if I click on one of those, select all, go to group, and then I could clone that, and now I can take this whole problem and drag that in over there. And again, that works, but I think there's a better solution. I'm going to take this one off of clone. Oops, excuse me, off of group. That was good. So I'm going to ungroup, and now I'll have my 3 separate pieces again, which is fine for what I'm going to be doing. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the screen capture tool. If you haven't used the screen capture tool, it's a great tool. That screen capture tool allows you to take pictures of anything on your screen. It comes up with a default of capture to new page, but for my purposes, I don't need that. So I'm going to capture to the page I'm on by deselecting capture to new page. I'm going to get the square selection tool, and I'm going to drag a box around my mathematical problem and let that go. You'll hear a little camera sound, and then you see this image come in. I'm going to take this image and drag it onto the box, and that's the way it shows up. Now you can see I've got a white area around my black numbers, and that's going to be a lot better contrast, a lot easier for students to see. I do the same thing then with the 9, just pull a box around it. You can see I'm trying to make my boxes roughly the shape of the matching tiles. That's going to make it easier for that to fit and be formatted. Now all I have to do is change the values in my mathematical problem. Let's say 8 plus 1. That won't work because I've already got 9. I could do 8 plus 4 though, because 8 plus 4 is going to give me 12, and that's a different value. So you can't have two values that have two answers that have the same value. That's important to note. So I'll do the same thing again. Take a picture of my 8 plus 4. There's my 8 plus 4. I drag it into position. And then I take a picture of 12 and drag that into position. Now I've got all my tiles set up here. I could continue this process over and over again if I wanted more than 4 tiles, which is probably going to be the case for just about every situation. Once I'm done though setting up my tiles, I can close down my picture tool. I can get all of these and just delete them away and click the OK button. I can resize this back to the size of the screen so that it fills up nice. And now I can hit the reset button or just start and click, and I've got 12 and 5 plus 4. 5 plus 4 doesn't match 12. 9 and 5 plus 4 match. And then this 8 plus 4 must be the match to 12 because it's the only ones left. So again, that's what I would do. What I take one more step though, and I wouldn't do this last step in Smart Notebook. I'm doing that. I'll do it here just for the sake of not opening up another file. But I would give my students a grid that they can use to write on. So what I would do is make something like this, and let's just make an image on probably a worksheet or a piece of paper that they can use so that they can write down the problem and find the solution. I'm not asking them to actually play memory. What I'm actually asking them to do is to make matches and to use the mathematical skill that they've practiced or acquired to practice making calculations. So on the kids' paper, they might write down if this first block was 5 plus 4, they might write down 5 plus 4 and then find their, and they have 9, and then when they turn over this block 9, they'd be like, okay, here's a match. We know those two are matches, so these other two must match also. So again, that's kind of what I do with this game with students in a 6th grade mathematics classroom. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed.